I jolted awake to the ferocious growl of a chainsaw sound, so jarring it yanked me from sleep like a nightmare clawing its way into reality. Heart hammering, I shot upright, thinking maybe a neighbor was pruning trees nearby. But then it roared again, louder, closer, menacing. I stumbled to the window, and my gut twisted. There, in my backyard, stood Linda's, that Linda, the self-proclaimed ruler of our HOA, clipboard in one hand while her hired landscapers butchered my gorgeous privacy trees. 6 towering, verdant giants I'd planted years ago to carve out my own little retreat were crashing down, branches dropping like soldiers in a war I never enlisted for. She was grinning, actually grinning like she'd just done the world a favor. That's when something inside me broke. She hadn't just felled trees, she'd slashed through the last shred of calm I had left. Right then, I swore I'd fight back. I stormed outside, barefoot, still in pajamas, hollering her name like a man unhinged. Linda spun toward me with that maddeningly serene look she always wore when she knew she was in the wrong but could spin it with some rulebook nonsense. "Good morning," she chirped, as if this were a casual coffee chat. These trees were blocking HOA sightlines. They had to go. You should have seen the updated guidelines we mailed last month. Updated guidelines? I hadn't gotten a damn thing. I demanded to know why she hadn't warned me before unleashing this chaos. "We posted it on the HOA bulletin board by the mailboxes," she said breezily, like that flimsy notice was a binding decree. I was floored. My backyard, once my sanctuary, now looked like a war zone, naked and raw. She'd stripped away more than foliage. She'd taken my sense of safety, my solitude, my home. I threatened to report her. She shrugged. "I'm the HOA president. I'm within my rights." That smug line haunted me for days, a taunting echo. That afternoon, still seething, I marched to the HOA office, expecting outrage, an apology, something. Instead, I got blank stares. The board members, Tim, the VP who always seemed half asleep, included, shrugged it off. "Linda mentioned those trees." "We trust her call," Tim mumbled. It hit me. They weren't just spineless, they were terrified of her. The meeting fizzled out with no answers. I left feeling deflated, my fury bottled up, my loss ignored. Linda had won for now. The next few days were torture. Every glance into my barren yard felt like standing exposed before the world. Without those trees, I could see straight into Linda's yard and she could see into mine. She'd turned our homes into a staring contest I never signed up for. I couldn't sip coffee outside without feeling her eyes on me. I couldn't grill without her snide remarks drifting over the fence. Smoke carries, you know. It wasn't just annoying, it was a mind game. I started keeping the blinds shut, avoiding the yard entirely. I was a captive in my own house while Linda strutted around like a suburban tyrant, clipboard in tow, nitpicking mailbox heights, and scolding kids for biking without helmets. She once berated a neighbor for a too neutral holiday wreath. She was unhinged. People grumbled about her, but no one dared confront her. She'd burrowed too deep into the HOA's power structure, twisting rules to suit her whims. Fear of her wrath kept everyone quiet, including me, at first. But the dread of lying under her thumb outweighed that fear. The tree massacre wasn't her last move. It was her opening salvo. That night, I stayed up, replaying her smug grin, the chainsaw's snarl, the board's apathy. Anger turned to strategy. I dove into research, property rights, camera laws, HOA limits, stumbling across a wide video of AI-powered security cameras. These weren't basic gadgets. They tracked motion, spun 360 degrees, and pierced the dark with night sound so clear it could spot a cat at 100 feet. Inspiration struck. If Linda wanted to watch me, I'd give her a show worth seeing. I didn't sleep. I plotted not petty revenge, but poetic payback, lawful and sharp. I'd ring my property with cameras not to spy, but to protect. And if they caught Linda's every step, well, that'd be a perk. I sketched out a plan. How many cameras, where they'd go, what they'd cover. I dubbed it Operation Watchdog. The next morning, I ordered them. Clicking confirm felt like my first real smile in days. She thought she'd won by cutting down my trees. She had no clue I was only starting. The cameras arrived in hefty boxes, and as I hauled them into the garage, purpose flooded me. This wasn't overkill, it was Sir VY Val. Linda had invaded and humiliated me. Now I'd take back control. These weren't cheap doorbell cams, but elite, AI-driven Guardians motion tracking, zoom-capable, night, sound beasts that beamed alerts to my phone. All legal, all within my property lines. I spent the weekend installing them, mounting each one high, lenses glaring outward over my yard, my fence, and Linda's favorite patrol zones. She watched me from her porch, arms folded, lips pursed, sensing trouble but not grasping its scale. When the last camera clicked into place, I stepped back. 20 sleek sentinels, each with a voice that announced, "Recording in progress. Please remain in VYEW," whenever motion tripped them. It was a chorus of vigilance, loud enough to reach her ears. The first test came that evening. Linda stepped out to water her flowers, and 3 cameras swiveled, locking onto her. She froze as the voice rang out, "Recording in progress. Please remain in VYEW." She flinched, dropped the watering can, and scurried inside. I laughed not out of spite, but relief. She'd made me feel exposed. Now it was her turn. Later, she pounded on my door. "Leave YD. What is this? Harassment? 20 cameras? That's insane." I stayed cool. It's security. After someone trashed my trees, I needed protection. It's all legal, checked every rule. She glared, speechless, then stormed off. That night, I watched her pace her yard, cameras tracking her, voices chiming. She was rattled and used to losing. Over the next few days, Linda unraveled. She donned giant sunglasses and a floppy hat, sneaking to her mailbox like a fugitive. Neighbors noticed some, waved at the cameras, grinning. Jim, who'd gotten a violation for a garden gnome, whispered, "Best show in years." Linda wasn't laughing. She retaliated with a flood of HOA notice says me trash cans were misplaced by inches, my mailbox too shiny. I documented it all. Photos, footage, formal replies sent to the board. She was trying to bury me in paperwork, but I wouldn't buckle. Then came a tip. Linda had bragged at a potluck about breaking me with fines. She couldn't outsmart me, so she'd outlast me, or so she thought. But her plan backfired. A kid caught her on video sneaking into a yard, snapping pics of non-compliant bushes. It went viral in our neighborhood group. HOA Linda strikes again. Comments roasted her. People had enough. My cameras became a rallying cry. 3 more homes installed their own. Linda's grip was slipping, not from one big hit, but 1,000 small, legal jabs. Her paranoia consumed her. She filed noise complaints about the camera, voices dismissed. She accused me of stalking. I shot back, "If you're not breaking rules, why worry?" Echoing her own words from when she'd trespassed on my land. She hated tasting her own medicine. Her downfall sped up. She strutted less, hid more, wrapping herself in scarves and hoodies like a paranoid celebrity. Kids waved at the cameras, neighbors jogged by, triggering them for fun. Linda lashed out with petty citations: tall grass, coiled hoses, gaudy stepping stones. But it only made her look desperate. People fought back with humor. A flamingo dubbed Linda's nemesis, a gnome with a fake camera, t-shirt saying "Please remain in view." She couldn't handle the spotlight. One night, thinking darkness hit her, she crept out. My night, sound cams caught her pacing like a bad spy. At midnight, she stared at my house for 15 minutes, cameras chanting their refrain. Then came her low point, an HOA notice demanding I remove my excessive cameras for ruining morale. I fired back with a legal rebuttal, permits, footage, a log of her escalating antics sent to the whole board. At the emergency meeting, half the neighborhood showed up. Linda arrived with a folder labeled "Surveillance Harassment," but I stole the show. I projected clips, her trespassing, yelling at kids, measuring shrubs at midnight. Gasps filled the room. She stammered, claimed tampering. I zoomed in on her face, live, time-stamped. Silence. Then applause. The board suspended her on the spot, permanently barring her from HOA roles. They urged me to press charges for trespassing. I agreed. Gone too far. After, neighbors thanked me, shared their own Linda horror stories. An old lady wept, saying she'd avoided her porch for months over a rocking chair violation. I hadn't just saved myself, I'd freed us all. Linda vanished into her house, a shadow of her former self. I replanted taller pines, and as they grew, so did the neighborhood's spirit. One evening, I saw her staring at the trees, not angry, just resigned. The cameras spoke. She walked away. Peace settled in, but the cameras stayed, a quiet reminder that truth, once seen, can't be undone.